both our teams, the New York teams, are out of it. We're not, getting ready for a wild card weekend or even a bye. I mean, not that our teams ever probably would have gotten that, but no wild card weekend for us, no playoffs, and just you got a lot to look forward to. And there's a lot of talk is going to be happening this offseason with coaching staffs, especially for the New York Giants, and then personnel issues with the New York Jets, with their quarterback, offensive weapons, and obviously they have to build up that offensive line just like the New York Giants do, which is frustrating because if you're a Giants fan, the Giants have been trying to rebuild that line for about 10 years, and it just has not worked out. We draft guards, draft tackles. It just seems like they never ever pan out. So a lot of stuff has to happen in New York football this offseason to try to get us some winning teams here back in New York.
I think the biggest thing is the distraction angle that everybody's trying to put on Aaron Rodgers. That's like getting this silly Facebook user. Nice.
Yeah.
Finally, something I can agree with. New York teams suck. Yeah, well, I mean, in football, not hockey right now. New York Rangers about to drop.
Truthful.
All right, so the Rangers are still in it, and that's what counts to me. I mean, being a Jets fan is like what you expect. But honestly, I think it's funny that the media has turned around and tried to say that essentially Aaron Rodgers is creating a circus in New York, and he's not even on the field, when in reality, the media has created a circus around Aaron Rodgers for the past 3-4 years?
Yeah, probably since 2017-ish, 2018. Actually.
I mean more about the controversial bullshit, like since COVID, since he said, I'm not vaccinated or whatever. And they've harped on him ever since, and they're just up his ass about the nonsense minutia that comes outside of football. And the guy gets hurt 4 plays into the season, right? He came here to essentially direct this team offensively and hopefully get us into a playoff bid, right? And he was unable to do that. So what does New York do as far as New York media? They just spin everything having to do with Aaron Rodgers throughout the entire year. Like every week, no matter if Zach Wilson played and he had a good game or a bad game, there's always something about Aaron Rodgers there. Aaron Rodgers trying this new recovery system. Maybe he might be back this year. We asked Aaron Rodgers if he's thinking about playing this year, blah, 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 blah. It's like, I can't tell you how many stories week after week I've seen about Aaron Rodgers, but they won't highlight the games that Zach Wilson actually plays good, or the fact that Breece Hall should be the comeback player of the year. What did he miss? 1,000 yards by like 16 yards or something like that, or 40 yards?
Talk about, by the way, that Facebook user is our friend, Mr. Mallard, Andrew Leduc.
Okay.
That's funny.
That's our dear friend,
Facebook user.
What's crazy to me is everybody keeps talking about Damar Hamlin, comeback player of the year. Listen, I think it's a great thing that the man is still alive. I really do. He went through some stuff that hopefully, God willing, none of us ever have to go through. Okay. And the fact that he gets to continue to play in the NFL is amazing. But the truth be told is I think he played 2 snaps and got 2 tackles for the entirety of the season. Are we really going to call him comeback player of the year? Did he really come back? He hung around. I wouldn't call it a comeback. If you want to sit there and say Flacco comeback player of the year, that's something I can discuss that we can get in, but he didn't play the whole season, did he? Breece Hall played the entire season after a blown knee and played damn well. I mean, I think he was like 6th in the NFL for yards after catch. He had over almost 700 yards after catch this season. Now, granted, he's a running back, so it's going to be a little bit more easy because he's picking up on dumps and check downs, and you're going to get a lot of bubble screens and stuff like that. So you're allowed to pick up a lot more yak. But at the end of the day, the guy wasn't playing last year. Our buddy Mr. Mallard says he couldn't agree more on Hamlin. Comeback player of the year should be Flacco. Flacco had a great season for the guy that wasn't supposed to be playing this year.
Yeah, he had 13 touchdowns in like 4 weeks off the couch.
It was very impressive by Joe Flacco, but I don't think Damar Hamlin needs to be in the conversation at all. And it's nothing against Damar Hamlin, but let's just call it what it is. He didn't play. He got 2 tackles on the season. The fact that he's still here is great. I really do admire him for that. And the fact that he's still doing what he loves is phenomenal, but he was not activated for a large chunk of the season. If he didn't play at all this year, will we still be talking about him being comeback player of the year?
It's a nice sentiment, and it's a good story that he was able to overcome this. But the award isn't the I almost died, but I survived, and I got in a snap or two. Like, that's not what the award is about. It's coming off of injury and still being able to perform at the peak physical, like what you were before you got hurt. That's the spirit of the award. It's coming back, and it's like you never missed a beat. You came right back, and you're still the same player.
I don't think it has to be injury. I think it's coming off a down year.
Well, I say injury because it's usually an injury, because an injury is a down year sucks, but a down year can be fixed. An injury is one of those things where you have the same mental headspace as if you had a down year, because you essentially did. You didn't play at all. So now,
but did Flacco get injured last year?
What?
Did Flacco get injured last year?
I'm talking about my point of Breece Hall should have been the comeback player.
No, I agree with you, but I know a lot of people are talking about Flacco getting. So I don't think being injured is a requirement.
No, I'm not saying it is, but I just always veer towards those guys because think about the percentage wise of making the NFL and being like the top 0.05% of humans that can compete at that level, and then getting an injury, right? We'll use Aaron Rodgers, for instance. Blowing out that tendon is a major deal, and most people would still be laid up on bed rest. And this dude, listen, God bless him. He's got all the money in the world. He can see the best doctors in the world. And he's obviously putting the work in. You don't get to see it. You know, you don't see what his life is like off the field. But the guy puts the work in, and he's getting himself in rehabbing. And what? He was walking around the field without the boot 6 weeks after surgery?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, something.
You know what I mean? Throwing footballs 8 weeks after surgery on the field. So, like, he's putting the work in, but it's like that's what I look towards, because to be able to come back off of an injury and then get back to that, like, just pure peak, top level, top tier athlete, like, how do you beat that? You know what I mean? That's why I look more towards the injuries. But yeah, Joe Flacco has a tremendous year. I'm a bitter Jet fan, and fuck him. He sucked last year.
So our buddy Andrew says Keenan Allen was on pace for comeback player, in my opinion, before he had injury issues. Again, Adam Thielen was too, but then the clock struck midnight. I like that reference. He turned back into a pumpkin. You know what though? I think a little tiny bit of that comeback player of the year. You got to consider the team's success as well a little bit, and that might be hurting Breece Hall a little bit. Definitely hurting Keenan Allen. Definitely hurting Adam Thielen. Definitely hurting Adam Thielen. So you got to consider that a little bit as well, as to a take back for why they're not gonna get that. That is a weird symbol that's shown by TJ's face. I've never seen that.
TJ.
I don't know what that is, but it's kind of cool.
It's gonna go. No, but I want to say just an input about comeback player of the year. I mean, I get where they're coming from, the sentiment that he came back because he died on the field and he came back. But he only played a couple snaps. I get he was in the practice squad. He's back on the NFL roster. Like, it's too cool. It's a nice story. But when we talk about someone who came back from something, I mean, is there anything worse than being on the Jets for Joe Flacco?
Hurtful, truthful. Andrew says that looks like TJ's secret Illuminati symbol. TJ can't keep a secret. Everybody knows that.
Let's talk about the Giants.
So I was going to say real quick, but the Jets fire no one, and it seems like everybody else is firing everybody. People with far better records and far better credentials than Robert Saleh and his gang. And some of those people, somebody who actually he was a denier earlier this season when we brought it up. He tried to sit there and pretend like it wasn't a real thing. Wink Martindale fired out as defensive coordinator.
Not fired. He resigned.
Okay, he quit. Okay, he ain't there no more. He told his head coach to go fuck himself. He wasn't going to stay there very long.
No, but here's the difference, though, because if you had fired him, you owe him the $3 million that he gets next year. They mutually agreed to part ways, because the Giants saved money by him agreeing to part ways, and they saved money. They have to pay him for next year. He's free to go become a DC somewhere else or head coach, whatever it may be. But what stemmed from that was they fired the offensive line coach. They fired a couple, I think, like defensive assistant coaches, and they fired the special teams coach. And Wink Martindale lost his shit on Brian Dable. And even after that, Brian Dable was still like, Wink's here. Wink's our guy. We're not going to get rid of him. We're going to keep him, despite how much Wink had animosity towards him. So, I mean, I think it just shows, I think Brian Dable apparently there was a lot of stuff in the media this week about saying how Wink Martindale was trying to, not a coup, but was trying to separate the team, like split the team with some of the like fracture, basically telling people undermine Brian Dable. And despite that, I mean, the Giants seem towards the end of the year still pretty cohesive. So I think for a young coach to have to deal with that and to come out of it on top, I think it says something about Brian Dable being able to keep the locker room together and not have the team fall apart basically at the end of the year.
See, this is shenanigans. And this is the New York media bias. Because if this was the Jets, every single news outlet would be all over this story, talking about how the Jets are dysfunctional, the Jets can't do anything right. Meanwhile, the Giants defensive coordinator just told their head coach, go fuck your mother, and everybody's just like, they're still a good organization. They parted ways professionally. No, they didn't. The motherfuckers said, go fuck yourself, and left. If you want to call that parting ways amicably, I don't know. Amicably means like where we're all still friends at the end. I don't tell you to go fuck yourself when I quit and call you a friend after the fact. And him firing the offensive line coach makes no sense to me because Wink Martindale's the defensive coordinator.
No, it wasn't just that. I'm just saying the Giants had firings and they also fired defensive assistants. That's when Wink Martindale
I can see him being upset about that. He's defensive coordinator, and they fired his guy, and he's ticked off about it. I'm with you on that. But I just want to point out, and I wish I could find the footage right now, you sat there earlier this season and said that everything was all happy, joy in Giants land. And like I told you, it's a circus over there, and you didn't want to hear it.
He gave Wink the ball, man. He was trying to make amends, and Wink didn't have it. So
listen, you only need one person. You only need one person for there to be beef. You don't need two people to have beef with each other. You just got to have one person to have beef with the other. That's it.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I was just joking about saying Brian Dable's a bigger man.
Beef isn't. You don't have to have requited. You don't have to have requited beef. Okay, beef can totally be unrequited. Like Tom Brady and I, we got fucking beef. He don't know it, but we got a lot of beef. It's unrequited, but fuck Tom Brady. All right.
I want to say for the New York Giants, though, the defensive unit obviously was very good later the second half of the year, and they led the league at one point. Like if you had like week 4 on or whatever it was, led the league in turnovers. Bobby Okereke and Xavier McKinney did not miss a snap. Every defensive snap they were on the field for, and Bobby Okereke had a great year. And I think if you were to give awards, I think he'd probably be most outstanding defensive player for the New York Giants. So
Okereke did. I mean, that's some. I don't know if he's got a C on his chest just yet, but if he does, he should.
He's definitely.
I mean,
Kenny has one.
I thought
McKinney wasn't captain. He's going to be gone. McKinney's a free agent, so he's probably going to be gone next year.
I thought that Okereke had an outstanding season. I thought that TJ, what the hell was that logo on your like Illuminati thing?
What logo?
I don't know. You went away. A weird logo popped up, and it looked like the Illuminati.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been chosen. I go to what's that? Bohemian Grove in California.
You've gone to Epstein's Island.
Fart way too much.
No, I've never gotten the invite to Epstein Island, but I know who killed him.
Don't say that on the show. No. But yeah, so the Giants are falling apart from within. We all knew it. Anthony tried to pretend like it wasn't happening earlier this season, even though TJ and I flat out said that there was trouble in Giant Land. But as I said, I got beef with Tom Brady. And speaking of Tom Brady and the Illuminati, Bill Belichick says goodbye. Happy trails, Bill Belichick. We will not miss you. All right. And goodbye to Bill Belichick.
I will remember you.
Out as head coach of the New England Patriots. Can I say something real quick before we get into that and all the other coaching fires that happened in the NFL? And we'll talk a little college too. Is it just me, or does it bother anybody else when a team claims a region instead of a city or a state? Like the Golden State Warriors. You're just fucking Oakland, dude. Just say Oakland. Like that's not a fucking place, Golden State. Like, what the fuck does that mean? New England Patriots. You're just fucking Boston. Be Boston.
Yeah, but you know what? I would say that most people think of New England as being Massachusetts. I understand I know. I understand it's like 4 states. It's like
Vermont,
right.
Yeah.
I understand that, but when you think of that New England type of, accent, and Boston every time.
Yeah, okay, but they call themselves New England instead of Boston. They're just Boston.
They're not. They don't play in Boston though. They play in Foxborough.
They used to play in Boston.
No, they don't.
Okay, the fucking Jets don't play in New York. Are we really gonna fucking play that card?
How far is Foxborough from Boston? Though?
Like 23 miles.
So it's like Boston.
That's
It's like the Giants playing in New Jersey.
Yeah, that is literally actually the Jets and Giants playing across in West New York, New Jersey, which is actually a town that's like adjacent to the Meadowlands.
Yeah.
There's a PF Chang's there.
It's actually closer than Foxborough is to
PF Chang's
Boston.
there.
It's actually it's actually closer than Foxborough is to Boston.
Yeah,
it's actually closer than Arlington is to Dallas. It's actually closer than what the fuck's this town that the fucking Bills play in? Because they don't play in Buffalo. Orchard
Park.
It's actually closer than Orchard Park is to Buffalo.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, 23 miles. There's like 2 cities in between.
23 miles. You're in the Bronx from Staten Island.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
You are.
There's no 23 miles.
Manhattan is like 10 miles long.
You think from Staten Island to the Bronx is 23 miles?
It's 25 miles to my old job. Actually, 28 miles to my old job.
And is that driving or is that like as the crow flies,
driving.
as they say?
That's driving.
No,
driving. Yeah, no shit.
Oh, the Bronx is closer than 20. I'm saying if you drove 25 miles, you're in the Bronx.
Yeah, I'm just saying. My point was the Bronx is not 15. That far.
No, Crow's Flight is probably 15.
Yeah, because Manhattan from Staten Island is what, less than 3 miles?
Wait, say that one more time.
The South Street in Manhattan to, let's say, the most northern part of Staten Island is less than 3 miles. No,
it's more than that.
You see,
because the Arizona Bridge is 2 miles, and they ain't going to Manhattan.
50.
What does that say?
Minutes.
What's 37 miles?
37 miles, 53 minutes right now if you were to drive from Staten Island to the Bronx.
Oh, because you got to go around in fucking Jersey, probably. They're not going to have you go to New York.
Yeah. It's 32 if you go through Manhattan, though.
I'm telling you right now.
Google as the crow flies, guy.
But Bill Belichick is out. Ding dong, the witch is dead. And whoever takes that job is gonna really gonna have big shoes to fill. Our buddy Andrew says, "I feel like I finally get to look back at the memories as a Pats fan for the past 24 years instead of just being mad at him for the past couple of years."
Don't blame him. Be mad at Mac Jones.
I can understand what he's saying. It's like Jeter at the end when he was batting like 260 and couldn't field a ground ball, and you were just like, "You used to be a king. What the fuck happened to you?"
Yeah, I know.
But so I mean, coaching carousel starts again. A lot of good coaches got fired.
Mike Vrabel got fired.
Mike Vrabel, which was I kind of think was kind of crazy. But I mean, does he seem like the heir incumbent to Belichick out there in New England?
I would 100% think so. He's a Patriot.
Right? Or does he join Tom Brady in Oakland as the interim head coach? And Antonio Pierce has not been signed. Excuse me, I meant Las Vegas. Excuse me. Tell the teams to stop fucking moving, and I won't forget their names. Because that's been floated around too, with Tom Brady being a minority shareholder for the Las Vegas Raiders. He could team up with his old buddy Mike Vrabel and bring Vrabel into LV.
Yeah, they said it would be Vrabel to Las Vegas as a Brady, right? And they said Antonio Pierce would be a Giants defensive coordinator.
You know what? I like Antonio Pierce. I think he deserved what's it called? I think he deserves to be a head coach out there in Las Vegas. Andrew said the media is dropping lots of hints up here that it's going to be Mayo, and he doesn't want that.
Well, some people don't like Mayo, so it happens. I mean, use mustard or something. I don't know. What is his problem?
Got him.
I he lines him up and he knocks him down. Nice job, Brooke. I'll clap it up for that one. Well done. And then also there was another. I think somebody else got fired. Hold on, give me a second. I'm losing my mind. Belichick got fired. There goes that logo again. What is this?
Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll.
14 years and
no, he didn't get fired. They mutually agreed for him to resign. Yeah,
so did Bill Belichick. They all mutually agreed.
Yeah. That's. Oh, and Ron Rivera got fired.
Who?
Ron Rivera from the Commanders got fired.
Oh yeah, and Arthur Smith from the Falcons too.
Arthur Smith from the Falcons, which we all kind of saw coming. His meltdown over that last play called
Such a whiny bitch.
I mean, I kind of understand where he's coming from in that instance, just because you're in victory formation and you ran a play. That's a dickhead thing to do.
Yeah, but it's Jameis Winston back there. You never know what's gonna happen, man.
I'll tell you right now, I think the players wanted to get one of their guys a touchdown.
Yeah, exactly what happened.
That's a nice thing. And the coach was like, nah, fuck that. And the players were like, you know what, coach? Together as a team, we want our teammate to have this. And you're the only fucker who doesn't want this. So fuck you. And you know what? Fire Dennis Allen, because he clearly doesn't have the locker room.
I was just going to say, I think anything, it's an indictment on Dennis Allen for not letting him do it.
Because you got to stand by your guys.
And yeah, not even that, though. As soon as he says to him, when Arthur Smith comes to him and says, why'd you do that? Like, that's bullshit. He was like, I didn't know they were doing it. I didn't know they were doing it. Like, he's like, I told him to kneel. Like, you basically just ratted out your guys and they did it without listening to you.
Yeah, but you know what? At the same time, you don't want to. You're the head coach of the team. You don't need to look foolish or stupid, because it does look. It's a bad look if it comes from the coach.
It's a bad look either way, though.
But you know what? Players are expected to be assholes. No.
Yeah, but I'd rather have my guys back than me looking at an asshole.
I would rather
have my guys back.
I would rather the coach be an asshole to another coach than his own team.
Thank you.
I understand what you're saying, but so my point is that yes, he should have listened to the guys and ran a couple plays to try to get this guy a touchdown. Sure, whatever. But once you go that victory formation and you go that route of doing a trick play, and you're now embarrassing the other team for your own fucking selfishness. Yeah, it's a great idea. Oh, we want to give this guy a touchdown. You're making the other team look like assholes, and you're embarrassing the other players. So now, if one of those O-linemen would have fucking forearmed somebody right in the face or in the throat, or a melee would have broken out and somebody would have got hurt, that's on you for your selfishness, because you guys as a team collective decided, hey, this is what we want. It's like, well, I'm pretty sure your head coach knows better than you. That's why he has the play chart, right? It's just it's a bad look on all levels, because the team looks like a pack of assholes. The coach looks like an idiot that doesn't have his team under control. It becomes a clusterfuck. It's a circus.
So I think it's a bad look just for Dennis Allen. The only bad thing from the Saints as a team that came with the formation they were in, if they were in a power I or anything like that, and the coach was like, I didn't do that, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I don't think anybody says anything. The coach is then just mad at Jameis Winston for running that play. But at the same time, as a coach, you should be looking out for your guys too, because whether you lose 48-3 or 55-3, you fucking lost. So who gives a shit?
That's what Jameis Winston said too. He said the only people who should really be embarrassed at that point was they're down 41-17. Like, they should be embarrassed. Like,
but I mean, is it not also is it not also embarrassing that you have to run a trick play because you really want to get this guy a touchdown that bad? Like, that's not embarrassing for you as a player.
I don't think it was intended to be a trick play. I think that it was we're going to go in the form. It was more to trick their own coach than it was because I feel like if they would have went into a power I or something like that, he'd have called a timeout.
Yeah, he would have done something.
He'd have been like, what the fuck are you doing? And called a timeout.
And rightly so.
Because that's what I would do.
It's not,
I'd have been like John Boyd.
What do you want it to be?
Blues, and I'd have been like, that's not the formation. That's not the formation.
Yeah, but what do you want these guys to do? So you want it to be like basketball where these asshole players decide like, oh, no, we know better than you, coach. We'll just get you fired.
No, I want the coach to be on his team's side.
Yeah, that's it.
And he wasn't.
He wasn't. So get rid of him.
They need to respect that. They need to respect that. No, they need to respect that.
No, they really don't. They're all grown men. They clearly don't respect him, because if they did, they wouldn't have done that. That shit don't happen to Belichick. That shit didn't even happen. That shit doesn't even happen to Robert Saleh.
I understand, but you know the deal with Belichick. If you pulled something stupid like that, you're gone. You're gone. He has that power. He has the ability to tell Robert Kraft, it's like, yo, dude, this guy's fucking gone or I'm gone. Your choice. I don't give a shit what you paid him.
I think he's a free agent this year anyway. So, like, he's gone. He's probably gone.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, any coach worth his salt, the players aren't going to do that to him. Todd Bowles, they're not doing that to Todd Bowles.
They wouldn't have done it to Rex, that's for sure.
They wouldn't have done it to Rex Ryan, but they did it to Dennis Allen because Dennis Allen doesn't have the locker room.
Yeah, and here's the thing too. I didn't realize that was Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams led the league in scoring last year in touchdowns. He only had one touchdown this year because that's how much Dennis Allen doesn't use him.
Yeah. That's probably a little bit of what the issue was.
Listen, I'm not sitting here trying to make a case for Dennis Allen like he's some kind of great coach or anything like that. I'm just saying that it's a bad look for the fucking team.
Own up to it.
Listen,
you love Dennis Allen.
You love fucking Mayo.
Last two things about college football.
He's a miracle whip guy.
Before we go move on from football, the last few things about college football. Nick Saban announced his retirement from college football.
Good riddance.
Good riddance.
Good riddance. Goodbye. You know what it is? He realized he couldn't throw hookers through anybody's windows anymore, so he's not going to buy any more championships over there in Alabama because now the NIL kind of eliminated his upper hand.
Yeah, it did.
So, and now it all makes sense as to why ESPN had to keep Florida State out of the playoffs, because they had to get Nick Saban in there one more time before he sets off into the sunset. Fat lot of good again, anybody.
Yeah, and look at the ramifications. They're talking about three game suspension for like fucking half the team that didn't play in the bowl game.
No,
you see that?
No, I haven't seen that at all.
You didn't see that?
You can't. A bowl game is not a regular season game. They can't make you play.
I'll find it right now. Give me 2 seconds to find this article.
They may be talking about that for the future, but they're not talking about that for anything that happened in the past, because that's not a rule. How could they do it? But conversations about who could potentially replace Nick Saban.
Oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't. My apologies. It wasn't because of the bowl game. They're going after them for recruiting violations. But
of course, that's going to be a normal thing.
Again, the point of the article was like, all right, now the NCAA is just targeting them because not just them, but I think everybody was very vocal about the joke that the NCAA is. So now you're going to take it out of them. Like, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous to fucking watch Alabama lose. This is what it's all stemming from.
But it absolutely is. NCAA is trying to get Florida State because they're mad that Florida State undermined everything NCAA's got going on these days. But fuck them anyway. Fuck the NCAA. I'm with Alex Moran, and I challenge the NCAA's authority at all in its entirety. I'm trying to figure out where they got the ability to decide anything. But we digress. We move on as we hear from our sponsors at
Fantasy Sports Corp and Underdog Fantasy have teamed up to start your fantasy season off in the win column with Best Ball. What is Best Ball? It's quite simply the easiest way to win. No team management, no trades, no waivers. It's their biggest contest ever, and it has only gotten bigger. You simply have to sit and win. You don't even have to set your lineup. Always get your best score every week. Just enter a contest, draft your team, and Underdog will do the rest. What could make this even better? How about free money, up to $100 using our exclusive promo code? Go online now and use the promo code Scoreboard to double your deposit up to $100. You tell them Gingerbread sent you. Good girl.
Good girl, Gingerbread. Good girl.
So we move on, and we're going to go into
Whiskey of the Week.
So I'm going to go a little different this week because I'm sick. I actually tested positive for COVID, I guess yesterday. Technically, I got the results back today. So I'm a little ill. And because of that, I'm going to talk about little cocktails we can make with some whiskey to make you feel better. And I'm going to go with my favorite. I think a lot of people know about hot toddies, right? Hot toddies, you mix a little tea, a little bourbon, a little hot toddy, right? But my fiance, say again?
Maybe a little honey in there, sweeten it up.
A little honey, yeah. My fiance does not like hot beverages. She drinks her coffee black, and she drinks it with ice, with no sugar, all right? So, in my house, we drink penicillin. Penicillin is, and just write it down, 60 milliliters of blended Scotch whiskey. We use Johnny Walker Black. That is a blended Scotch whiskey. 22.5 milliliters of fresh lemon juice, okay? You're going to have that same 22.5 milliliters of honey syrup. And I use ginger syrup. So I do another 22.5 milliliters of ginger syrup, but you can use fresh slices of ginger, and you can use that in there, and you can muddle that into your glass as well. And that's known as a penicillin, and it's great. It soothes you serve it on ice. So you throw it in the shaker, shake it up, serve it in a pint glass, ice, and you can drink that. And unlike a hot toddy, it's not going to burn your throat as you consume it. And that ginger and that honey is going to soothe whatever ails you right here. Sometimes I like to heat up my my Johnny Walker so that it melts the ginger and the honey so that it's not like a hard substance floating around on the bottom of my drink. And it'll soothe your throat. If you drink enough of it, you'll just pass out because you'll be slightly drunk.
That works.
And that's your penicillin for you, made with Johnny Walker Black.
I'm pretty simple. I for comforting wise, I like just an Irish coffee, but built the right way. Nice. I usually use bourbon. I'm not the typical Jameson. I usually use bourbon because bourbon's a little sweeter. It has a more sugary profile. And then a good cup of hot coffee and some Bailey's Irish cream on top. It just that every time works for me. It just the alcohol makes you feel better. The warm drinks. My wife is the same way. She doesn't like anything hot. I don't get it. I don't understand. Like not hot cocoa, tea, coffee. Not her husband, ugly as shit. I mean,
super hot.
Settled clearly, but I'm just saying I have no idea because, dude, hot things always make me feel better when I'm not feeling good. Soup, cup of tea, cup of coffee. But when I can incorporate alcohol and still have that little bit of party, even though I'm not feeling my tippy top best, I feel much better right away.
What do you got for us, Rooker?
My dad left this on Christmas. Wolfhound Irish whiskey. It's from Ireland, product of Ireland, like TJ's relatives.
Well, Irish whiskey comes from Ireland.
I know, that's what I'm saying. They like TJ's relatives. They come from Ireland.
Guess
yeah,
what?
You don't have to specify that it's a product of Ireland because it's Irish whiskey.
It was just funny to say that it's a product of Ireland, like TJ's entire family.
They call Chinese food in China, right?
No, they don't, because they don't eat that Chinese food in China. I'll give this a taste. Anyway, I didn't have it yet.
Somebody had it. What do you give you half a drink bottle?
It's actually pretty smooth. It's actually not bad.
I was hoping that was a bottle of piss and he just doesn't like you anymore. They're salty.
It's actually really smooth considering it says to mix it with ginger ale soda or natural spring water and release Wolfhound's hidden character. So I'm gonna try.
Where the fuck are you gonna find natural spring water in New Jersey?
I hope so much that this fucking guy puts these ingredients together, and it's like you're not supposed to get Mogwai's wet, right? And Gremlins, like he unleashes an Irish wolfhound on his fucking neighborhood.
No, but you don't have to do all of the ingredients. You can do soda, ginger ale, or natural spring. You don't have to.
Now you got to follow the rules exactly the way it says, so you can like incarnate some evil wolf beast from Ireland that's just going to go around and fuck your neighbors up.
Well, that's how you wake up the
giant. Gentle giant.
Gentle giant.
That's how you wake up the banshee.
Surprisingly very smooth. I think those are like the shittiest whiskey I ever had in my life. It's actually really good.
Good for you.
It's hard. It's hard to make a bad alcohol, but when they do it, it's like, oh man, you've taken something I love and fucking ruined it.
Tell that to the folks over at Jameson.
And Fireball.
Oh, fucking Fireball.
Fireball is technically just a malt liquor or some shit like that.
Liqueur. Now listen, these fucking little jabronis said, back in my day, we drank fucking cinnamon fucking schnapps and it had pieces of fucking gold in it. Real gold, okay? We really knew how to class it up.
Goldschlager, yeah.
Yeah, dude, if you wanted something fruity and flavorful, you went for the Jägermeister and you served it ice cold or you dropped it into a Red Bull. And then
SoCo and lime, baby.
Yeah.
Jaeger bomb.
Another one that gets me like Jaeger bombs I could still do. SoCo and lime, like
I can't do Jaeger bombs.
You drink a SoCo lime, you immediately remember throwing everything that you drank and ate that night up. Like it's just like, oh, I remember
that. I remember that from fucking Jaeger bombs.
I used to just chug Jaeger from the bottle. It was disgusting.
Jaeger bombs. Jaeger bombs. Jaeger bombs. We digress and we move on. Yankees agreed with arbitration with Juan Soto today for this season. $31 million he'll be making from the New York Yankees this year. They're also in talks with offering Blake Snell, the reigning NL Cy Young Award winner, they've offered him a contract for this season, and
Marcus Stroman.
Marcus Stroman has shown interest in joining the Yankees, though we have not seen anything from the Yankees showing interest in him. Quite frankly, I don't think he should be on the Yankees.
No, there was a report just recently that said the Yankees actually did show some interest back.
I mean, that was like, so the first report said the Yankees don't give a fuck, and the next day, Martino was like, the Yankees are now interested. Why? When? I feel like this is that scene. Have you seen the clip of Tiffany Haddish on I think it's the Colbert Report or something like that? Or the Colbert Show, or so one of those shows, one of those late night shows. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I talked to John Mayer, and he was saying that if you have interest in somebody who's in the public eye, just go on TV and say that you've been seeing that person, and they'll invariably show a picture of you with that person, and then that person will see it, and they'll think like, I wasn't thinking about getting with her, but now that I see myself next to her and I know she's into me, now I'm kind of into her. And then he's like, so who have you been seeing? And she's like, Giancarlo Stanton.
Oh, yeah.
And what does he do? He pulls out a picture of Tiffany Haddish and Giancarlo Stanton. Is that what Marcus Stroman did?
I think so.
Marcus Stroman was like, I'm really interested in the New York Yankees, even though I talked so much shit about their fans and their franchise a few years ago and said I would never play there.
He talks shit about everybody. Fuck this guy.
The man's got a 6.06 ERA at Yankee Stadium over the course of 11 starts, and I don't think he's mentally strong enough to play for the New York Yankees.
That's because he's playing against the Yankees.
The second the Snell rumors came out that the Yankees were interested in Snell, right? The first 5 articles I read after that was, that guy is not built for New York City. That guy can't handle New York City. We already know Marcus Stroman can't handle New York City. He played for the little brother team of New York City. He played for the Mets and couldn't fucking deal with it. And guess what? There's no pressure over there in Citi Field. Zero whatsoever. If you show up there just happy. That whole area is built on mediocrity. Okay? And he couldn't fucking do it there. On a joke of a team. You're going to come to the Yankees? I don't think so. Okay? Go over there off to wherever the fuck you came from. Go get your sports reporters fired because you insisted they're racist, and drum up whatever fucking drama you want because you're a fucking loser because you have no juice on the field. All right? And go off somewhere else, dude. That guy is not built for any city that has more than like 15 people in it, because the chances of him getting criticized go up 90%.
He's already blocked, and somebody asked, would you be okay with him signing if he issued an apology to Yankee fans? How would anybody see it? He's blocked 2/3 of the Yankees fandom. He blocks everybody else. He's so mentally weak. He just blocks everybody. Like, there were some people that never actually said anything about him, like to him, like they didn't at him. So he literally goes on Twitter and looks for people who write his name and blocks them. Like, how much of a loser do you have to be to look for people on Twitter who have written so you're searching your name, looking for the latest tweets and then blocking negative ones? Are you serious?
Well, he apparently could do it in New York, right? But Blake Snell is not mentally fit to come to New York.
I just think, honestly, I remember once upon a time the Yankees being kind of like classy and upstanding as a baseball player was a requirement to play for the Yankees. And then all of a sudden we decided we wanted the likes of Josh Donaldson, and now we're interested in fucking Marcus Stroman. Who are we going to sign next? Tim Anderson? Do we have Verdugo on our team? What are they going to flip off the Yankees fans together as they leave the field?
I mean, since we already, on Twitter and mental weakness, I found this very funny because I actually jumped in on like adding my own little GIF to the tweet that they put out there. But Southwest Airlines put out a tweet essentially highlighting the fact that they had an all-female crew on one of the flights. So the pilots, co-pilot, stewardesses, everybody on the flight was female. So you can imagine what the comments turned into.
I don't know where you're going.
You can imagine. I mean,
thank God you don't got to parallel park a plane, right?
My joke was I threw the GIF of airplane where all the pilots are sick and out of the cockpit, and the stewardess gets on the microphone and is like, "Can anybody help fly this plane?" So I threw that in there. Southwest Airlines has deleted their tweet.
It's all because of you misogynist.
No, dude, it's just 4,000 comments of just exactly what you think is going to happen. Like,
you're a fucking misogynist.
Dude, do they not know how to use the internet? You know it's coming. You're asking for it. Like, what do you do? Listen, it's great. Like, and the funny thing is, a whole bunch of people, like the first couple comments that and Southwest replied were like, "Okay, I flew on planes that had a fucking female pilot and co-pilot, and all the stewardesses were female. Like, what's the big deal? Like this, you're making it out to be abnormal when we've all already accepted it as normal. Move along." Like, and then it's just all the derogatory, like. They were in the sky with their blinker on the whole flight. Fucking.
I hope the navigator was at least a man. Jeez.
No, it was all female.
Jesus Christ. I don't think Google Maps works up there.
I hope,
dude. You just can't set people up on the internet like that, especially not now that Elon Musk has Twitter, because it's about as free speech as you get in the social media space. You can pretty much say whatever the fuck you want. Like,
I hope that flight crew is
it
more
up.
successful than the all-female Ghostbusters.
Oh, talk about. I got suspended on Facebook because I saw a picture of fucking Raphael telling Keno, "Run or I'll kick your butt." And I commented, "Run or I'll kick your butt." And Facebook was like, "You're inciting violence against somebody." I'm like, it's a quote from the movie in the picture, you fucking morons. And then they wonder why nobody wants to be on Facebook anymore.
I like Twitter because they try to keep
our watchers on Facebook.
I like Twitter because they try to keep you polite. They're like, people usually don't reply like this. Are you sure you want to send this tweet? And I'm like, you fucking better believe it.
I always go read back to make sure that it was meant that way. I'm like, oh, like hold on. I said fuck. Did I say fuck you? I left the you out. Fuck. All right, let me make sure I put that the person knows I mean fuck them.
Like even before Elon Musk took Twitter over, I forget who it was. It was some political asshole. Like starting shit on the internet, just like fake news nonsense. And just to be a dick, I was like, you're a cunt. And I get suspended. So when I came back after my 1 day suspension, I added the person. I was like, I got suspended because I called you a cunt. And then I got 3 days. And we just kept that going.
I haven't been suspended on Twitter in a long time.
You're not going to get me to stop.
Moving on. I love that music.
I do as well. There's nothing like an organ, at a nice hockey game. Part of the
there's nothing like an organ.
But it's just the accoutrement, right? How do you not hear that pipe organ play blaring in MSG? Goes together like lamb and tuna fish. Before we get into the Rangers, the friggin' Devils are currently losing to Tampa 3-2. And who do you root for there? Like just maybe a sinkhole?
Stadium collapses.
Right? Like, I hate both teams.
Like when the Giants played the Patriots in the Super Bowl. It's like, whose mouth do I really want to hear?
Yeah, well, I guess we got to deal with the ones living next door, but whatever. On to the Rangers. The Rangers, once again, have found themselves in this groove of win-loss, win-loss. We're still in a good position, but I hate letting those win streaks slip away, and that's essentially what we're doing by playing 500 hockey right now. It's really annoying because the funny thing is it's almost like two different teams, and their shots on goal have been up. It's just some nights the puck goes in, some nights the puck doesn't. It's very frustrating because the team as a whole is playing very well. We've been hit with the injury bug a little bit, right? We're getting into the nitty gritty. Where the wins are starting to really matter because now's that time building into the All-Star break where you're going to want to cement yourself in a position to stay. Like this is where we're at. This is where we're going to groove out a little spot of our own. We want to get into the playoffs. This is where we're looking. This is our goal, and just build towards that. Because again, you say it all the time. Half the fucking league gets in the playoffs, so you kind of want to set yourself up and kind of choose your dance partner properly because you definitely have the ability to do so in the NHL. Obviously, you're trying to win. It's kind of weird because nobody wants the President's Cup, right? You really don't want to have the most wins because that doesn't bode well for you actually winning the Stanley Cup. Very odd, but I always like the strategy towards the end, like two more points and we can actually face against this team instead of that team. So this is like kind of the start of that push, right? That you want to jockey for position and then just cement yourself there and lock it in and know what you're looking at going into the postseason. But I like what the Rangers are doing. I like the intensity. I like the heart. I like the team overall. I'm looking forward to getting Kako and Heel back on the ice full time. And but you know what? The guys that we brought up have done fantastic. So this team is definitely built for being good for a while. You know what I mean?
I am concerned with Igor. He's given away some cheap goals this season. Although the defense hasn't been helping him much. The defense has not been winning.
I was going to say, a couple of these games have been kind of like little shooting galleries that go on like just in the middle of a period where all of a sudden Igor just faced 9 shots in a row, you know, and the Rangers struggled to even get it into the neutral zone.
Yep. I mean, Rangers are down 2-1 now. Mika Zibanejad not playing today. I didn't catch why, but he's not playing today. And Igor kind of gave away. The first goal he gave away was kind of cheap.
Yeah, he's not. I mean, he's not razor sharp right now. He's
not
playing bad, but he's definitely not where you expect him to be.
Yeah. Well, listen, if you're going to be a Vezina, you know, kind of guy, you expect you to play at that Vezina level. Like that's.
Yeah,
expectations rise when you are successful. Your expectations become higher. You're expected to be successful. Period. So, you know, hopefully he'll turn it around. I think we're starting to see Quick for who he is. He's the backup, you know, because we've seen him get knocked around a little bit the more that he's played, which is explaining why he's the backup. You know, I mean, the more you play, the more likely it's going to be that you experience some ups and downs and some beatings. So.
Absolutely.
That's the game. That's hockey, right? That's hockey, Susan.
Shinny.
That's shinny for sure. We're winding down here. Also tonight, we missed it in football. Tonight, I believe the Chiefs play the Dolphins tonight in Kansas City.
Do they?
I believe so. I could be crazy, but I thought that's what I saw. Maybe that's Sunday. Maybe that's the first game on Sunday. And if so, just to point out that it's supposed to be like a record low.
I thought it was Saturday, that game.
It might be Saturday. I might be mistaken. I don't know why. I saw it on Peacock, so I thought it was. Oh, it's on Peacock. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
It's only on Peacock.
Really?
Yes. It is only on Peacock. That's why. Yeah, you can't watch it anyplace else. It's Saturday on Peacock, but there's supposed to be a record low in KC on Saturday, and they're talking about how, you know, that may not be the best setting for Tua, who's from Hawaii. I think, at least that's what I saw. I don't know if that's true. Damian Woody said he's from Hawaii, but I don't know if that's necessarily true. Yeah. I mean, we usually see that again a lot, right? When the teams that play in the hot weather have to go and play in the frigid weather, they don't tend to fare too well, and vice versa. The teams that play in a cold area, if they got to go down to Miami early in the season and play in 100-degree heat in September, they usually don't do too well at that point either. So
Dolphins like 0-17 in like weather below like 30 or something like that.
I mean, the Dolphins are 0-17 in their last 17 playoff appearances. So
must have been all cold weather games.
Yeah, you know what? I would like to see the Dolphins come out and upset KC just because I'm sick of Kelsey and I'm sick of seeing Taylor Swift.
I would much rather.
It's not going to happen though.
I would much rather see Taylor Swift every single day for the rest of my life than watch the Dolphins win a playoff game before the Jets.
I honestly don't care about that. Personally, I think Tua deserves it. Not the team. Tua does. The players do.
I will not let Jason Cooper have anything to wave over us as fucking Jets fans. Okay, I'll not stand.
It doesn't bother me, dude. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. I don't want to see Pat Mahomes there. I don't want to see Jackson Mahomes fucking being weird and forgetting how to act like a guy. Like his annoying ass wife, and just the Taylor Swift is irritating. And then like I didn't watch the stupid award show, but they said Joe Coy bombed. And then everybody sharing like all these 35-year-old single women out there that are Swifties that like love being Swifties, and they wonder why they have 3 cats and fucking no significant other. But like attacking Joe Coy like that was just unnecessary and stuff like that. And the joke was about as mean as it was funny. And like, oh, hey, Taylor Swift's here tonight, but we guarantee you'll see less camera angles of her than a football game. Like that was topical. It made sense. Everybody's been complaining about getting sick and tired. At least real football fans are sick and tired of hearing about the Taylor Swift nonsense. And she just sits there with like a puss on her face, like she's miserable. It's like, fucking grow up. Like, you're making billions of dollars.
At least she didn't have Kelsey get up and slap him.
I mean, that is true. But
although I would have paid good money to see that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That probably would have livened up the evening because Joe Coy bombed big time.
But yeah, that's what's going on in the NFL this weekend. Obviously, playoff picture start obviously clear as day. Draft order, what's it called? Mock drafts already starting to get released. Jets picking up a offensive lineman in a lot of the mock drafts coming out. I haven't seen. I think the Giants looking to get a wide receiver. There's a lot of wide receivers in this draft class. It's very deep at that position. So Giants might be doing that. Though I remember the last receiver they drafted was Tony, and he's a freaking moron who doesn't know where the line of scrimmage is. So we'll see how they do. And the Jets drafted Mekhi Becton, and we'll see how they do as well. Anything going on in the world of golf before we get going, T?
Yeah, actually, you're starting to see a couple of Liv is pushing their promos out now. What'd you say?
Pat Perez getting divorced?
No.
I mean, that's true, though.
Yeah, but I'm more focused on like the Live promos are starting to come out. You're starting to see the golf season ramp up because this is, everybody's got the winter blues, right? Especially if you live anywhere where it's cold right now and you're not out there golfing and you have to settle for the golf simulator, which is nice because you always find your ball.
Top golf, baby.
Or Top Golf until you get thrown out for just slicing it over the net repeatedly.
Yeah, you get thrown out for drinking fucking scissor. Did you happen to catch that video?
No, who was that?
Two jabronis were fucking pouring fucking cough syrup into their drinks at Top Golf, and the people at Top Golf were like, "All right, it's time to go."
You're just having a good time.
Fucking codeine here.
Oh man. Yeah, no, dude, this is the time of year where golf starts ramping up. Lot of Twitter talk right now around golf, and you get the Live guys coming out. I seen an interesting thing from Kevin Kisner about him talking about Live and how he has the exact approach that every PGA player should have. Like, hey, we all gotta provide for our family and make choices, and I'm not mad at anybody that made that choice to go over there. What's the big deal? Like, it seems like everybody has that idea except Rory McIlroy, because he's just bitter because he wishes he would have went over there and got his paycheck, and now he's pissed off that all these guys are going over there. They got their paycheck, they rolled the dice, and they will one way or the other be back in the PGA Tour at some level. Most of those guys. So and with John Rahm issuing himself over and crossing over, right, turning to the dark side, if you will. I think it's great for the sport, and I think now you're seeing a lot of the media shills that were shilling for the PGA backing away from the Live destroys golf. It's ruining the sport. It's like, no, it's just giving you more entertainment value in the sport. How does that ruin it?
Golf's not really a sport; it's a game.
Wow, dude, you swam.
Did you guys catch? Did you guys? I mean, at least swimming actually gets your fucking heart rate.
That's not a sport, then.
That absolutely is. A race is.
No,
a
it's
sport.
not. If I throw you in a lake and I say survive, you're gonna have to swim or die. Like, that's not a sport.
Am I swimming against somebody else who's fucking gonna survive?
Wait, did we do playoff predictions for NFL?
No, we didn't. I have zero predictions about the NFL season other than pain. Did you guys catch Tiger Woods?
Ravens Cowboys. Ravens win.
Did you guys catch Happy Gilmore? The Tiger Woods pull the Happy Gilmore?
No, I did not.
You mean when he's on his knees?
No, he teed off like Happy Gilmore.
I didn't see that.
I don't know if this was recent, but
I did see with the guys from Foreplay on Foreplay.
Yeah, I saw that, the longest drive contest.
The long drive, he got on his knees and smoked.
I'm trying to find the video real quick, but it was Tiger Woods wearing a hockey jersey, it seemed, and he teed off wearing like a Happy Gilmore jersey, but it said Woods on the back. It looked like a Bruins jersey, but it said Woods instead of. I don't understand.
He's not with Nike anymore. That was the big news this week.
Right.
So this was. I guess this
mutually parting ways. Nike and Tiger Woods mutually parting.
Well, he's probably going to end up just doing what Tom Brady did and make his own brand.
Yeah, 100%.
He's just going to bring the TW brand to remove the swoosh and he's done.
Yeah.
Continue to make millions.
I mean, he's still gonna have to partner with somebody.
Stuff.
He could do like a Jordan style deal, but he's gonna have to partner with Nike or somebody to do it.
No, he's not.
Well, how's he gonna manufacture his own shit? He's not a
He
manufacturer.
can partner with a manufacturer. That's it. He can literally call up
he still has to
China.
partner with somebody.
No, but what I mean is he's not going to He doesn't have to partner with a big brand. He could partner with the same fucking factory that makes Nike shit and just bring out the Tiger Woods stuff.
I get that, but he still has to partner with somebody. He can't start.
But you're making it sound no. You're making it sound like he has to have some kind of business partnership. When in reality, every business, nobody's sitting there hand sewing like anything themselves. They have
We're
manufacturers.
over
They pay
our
for it.
time, but the last thing I'll say before we go: Yankees and Marcus Stroman agreed a 2-year deal with a vesting option. It's absolutely the worst news I could have got to end the night, and that's all we got for you. We'll catch you next week. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Good night.
Oh, bet the Yankees.